Hi, I'm Jen Eveland in Singapore, and I'm about to embark on a super seacation on World Dream. On November 6th, Dream Cruises launched 2- and 3-night itineraries for the Singapore market. It's been a while since we cruised, and there have been a few changes, so I'll try to show you some of those along the way. Come, let's go. I'm on board the ship after just completing what is probably the most talked about change regarding cruising in the era of COVID, and that's the COVID-19 mandatory test that's required of all passengers before they can board the ship. First, passengers check in online and they receive an appointment to show up for the COVID-19 test. So they come to Marina Bay Cruise Center and they proceed to the testing area. They fill out a health declaration form online. Then the next step is you register for the test, where they'll take your temperature and fill out the relevant paperwork. From there, you're escorted to the testing area, which is a number of cubicles staffed by medical professionals, all wearing full PPE. They perform the swab test, and after that, you're shown to a waiting area where you sit for maybe about 20 minutes while waiting for your results to come through. And once you receive your negative result, they'll pass you a certificate, and from there, you can proceed to the terminal and finish checking in so that you can board the ship. All passengers must comply by Singapore government regulations requiring wearing face masks and social distancing. That's why around the ship you'll see things like this table tent that reminds people to wear their face masks at all times, and dots along the floor to remind people to queue at least 1 meter apart. You'll also see cruise ambassadors, like Freddie here.
Hello, hi everyone.
Who's happy to remind people if he sees them getting a little bit too close. So what do you tell them?
Sir, ma'am, please maintain safe distance. Thank you.
Previously, when passengers would board, they would be assigned a master station, and they would report to the master station for a safety drill. But because of social distancing regulations, we can't have such large groups of people congregating in one place anymore. So the ship goes about things a little bit differently now.
So what we do now is when the guests come on board, the first thing that they see is their assembly station. We have guides around the ship that will bring them to their assembly station, and we check them in, make sure that they have been there, and they are being told that this is their assembly station where they need to go in case of emergency. And then they can continue about where they want to go inside the ship. Before departure, we do a safety announcement that includes the general emergency alarm and life jacket demonstration around the ship so that all guests can see how it's properly done. So this is to make sure that we have a social distancing between all the guests. It's very smooth.
I'm in the Crystal Life Spa, and I'm going to talk about some of the ways in which technology has changed life on board a cruise ship. So first of all, Singaporeans will be familiar with the Safe Entry Check-In app. So all passengers are required to check in at the cruise center and also before boarding the ship. This is a Singapore government initiative to help with contact tracing. Then in the terminal, the cruise company itself also issues this mice pod. And the mice pod is to help track us wherever we go around the ship. So we're required to carry this at all times too, also for the purpose of contact tracing. In future, Singapore residents will also be required to download the Trace Together app or collect a Trace Together token, which they'll have to show before boarding the ship, which is another Singapore government initiative to help track people during the pandemic, just to make sure everybody's safe during this time. I'm outside the Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Grill on World Dream to go over some of the new procedures for passengers who want to eat at any of the onboard restaurants. And here to help demonstrate some of those are Joey, who's the assistant restaurant manager here. Joey?
Hi, let me show you our new procedure. Here are the markings for the guests who queuing up before they dine in the restaurant. As you can see the markings, they have a 1 meter gap. And after they queuing up, they're gonna show this cabin card. And by using this RFID, they're gonna tap over here. And after they tap, they are already processed for their dining. They're gonna have their temperature check. Okay. As you can see here, the hand sanitizer. They can use hand sanitizer actually. Let me show you how to do hand washing. First, you place your hand over here. Soap water is coming out, then followed by fresh water to rinse your hand, and tissue will come out. Dry your hand and place your used tissue below here.
I'm here in the Lido, and it's just before lunch service. So now I'm going to tell you some of the changes that are happening in meal service on board the ship. So now, all wait staff in every restaurant are required to wear a face mask and gloves. Buffet service is handled differently too. Previously, passengers would approach the buffet and serve themselves. But now, the chefs are standing behind the stations, the passengers indicate what they would like, and the chef serves the plate and hands it to the passengers. Another change is a requirement to have a maximum of 5 people dining at any one table at any given time. I'm at the pool deck where you can see another change. Ships are booked at only 50% of capacity, which means there's a lot of extra space and you never feel crowded and there's never a queue. And there you have it.